Welcome to Gibby Works. A man, a son, and some wrenches. Um, Son's still missing. Other children don't want to join me, apparently. Well, I haven't asked. But, no, so, truck's still going good. Lawnmower's still running around. Actually, I used it this morning. Works great. Um, but recently I came across a video. And every once in a while watching YouTube, you're like, oh, you see something, you go, hey, I think I can do that. And it happened once with like an Adam Savage video. He took a Nerf blaster and like painted it. So like I spent the next couple weeks doing this. Painted this one. So I do that, and every once in a while I think, hey, I can do that. So that actually turned out really well. But I saw this one. It's Nate from the internet. He decided he wanted to print a 3D Lego castle. He did it. He's doing it like 20 times big so that he can actually stand in it. So what do I think? I'm like, hey, I can do that. Mostly because it's like, spending time. And he started from, drawing out the Lego castle using his CAD software. I'm like, hey, I did that once. When I was going to ITT Tech, um, one of the final final jobs was to take a Lego ship, craft, boat, plane, whatever, and draw it up in Inventor. So I did. I did this guy. So I took the guy. I drew each individual block, even the little pilot, and then even the little robot. I had that whole thing drawn out so that I could put it together in Inventor. And I actually did a little movie where the robot came over, sat down, guy came over, sat down, and it flew off. Mostly I did it because I had the time because I was tutoring at the time, and when I didn't have people to tutor, I drew my Legos. So I saw that, I thought about that. I'm like, hey, I really want to do that again. I've got access to some printers. I've got access to SolidWorks. So I'm like, I can do this. And I'd actually even done a different, redrew a different one of these ships not too long ago. So I'm like, I want to do this. Because once again, I get obsessed about something and I just keep doing it. So found the sorry, Deadpool. So I found the book and I said, okay, how big do I want to do it? That one took me for a walk, and I'm like, obviously, I don't want to follow Nate's example and do it 20 times as big because I don't want to sit in it. I just want to have a big one. So I looked at it and I started thinking about it because I have Deadpool. This was an alarm clock that we got a little ago. He's holding Deadpool's gun. I even have a John Wick because Deadpool was the first one I found. John Wick I found later, and so I printed them. And so I looked at these. I'm like, I think that's the size I want to go with. So I did it, and so I found some. I'll link in the bio the guy who actually did the files for this guy. So he's 5 times as big. So that's going to be my pilot. Well, not him because I don't like the color. I don't like some of the dimensions. I don't like. Then the helmet doesn't fit quite right. I drew the helmet. These are all the rest of his are this guy's files, but I'm going to make some changes to it, and it's too bright of a green. He needs to have a darker green. He's a darker green. Not to stand him up. So anyway, so I started. So I started drawing them up. I started sizing them up, and then I started to print them. And this is where I got to. So I've got enough parts to put it together to about the engines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me show you some of the things I had to do, and I'm going to start putting it together. I'm up to about the engines to this point, to these engines. I'll have to do these engines I'm working on how I have to scale to print those. I've scaled them. I just need to figure out how to print them so I can put these together as a unit and then snap them onto this. But I am going to do the landing skid so I can actually stand this up. You'll kind of see why that in a few minutes. So anyway, let's move on to that. Over there. So I'm going to put a picture here. So this is like one of the first pieces that I had to print out because it's the first part in the drawing. And as this picture shows, this is 5 times as big. So this one, so in order so I didn't have to print it with supports to support this, I did kind of mimic Nate in that I printed these with the pips or the studs so they screw in. Nate's are tighter than mine, and so I actually am going to glue them in. So this one and this one kind of shows. So this one actually fit on the bed plate, like this one did not. So I actually had to figure out these dovetails that I have in there. This one's already glued together. You see here, I took some time, glued them in. It's not terribly exciting, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on camera doing that. But they kind of snap together like that. They're glued together. To kind of explain that more, like Nate did, I call them pips. Sometimes I call them studs. Other times I don't know why. I just do. But I do it so they'll screw in. That way I can print it up without support. I can print as many of these as I need. So it's pretty easy, and yet I'm not doing it tight enough that they will stay in by themselves. So a little bit of glue helps. And obviously most of this stuff that as I've been dry fitting and testing has not been terribly tight. So I'm going to just glue it all together because once it's together, everything's okay. Okay, so let me show you. So because the printer bed is limited space, because these are big, like I showed, I mean it's 5 times. I have ones that are bigger than on the base, like these wings. You can see I had to split those. This guy, these guys, I did the same with all of them. Once I drew them, sized them up, I split them, and like this one in the middle, this one just in a reasonable spot that fit on the printer bed well. And then I just did a dovetail, real simple. But it was really kind of fun to try to figure that out, because at first, I did just made the dovetail, and then on the groove, I would just space it out, just add a little. So the pattern wasn't quite right, so it never quite fit. I was never quite happy with it, so I started playing more. This was like revision 2. This is like revision 3. I'll show these pieces that I made and tried. And so what I really ended up doing, which I thought was kind of fun and worked really well, like these ones are the final size. So what it is the cutout. We now have to put a picture in here that it's the dovetail and then just offset, and it's only offset 0.05 millimeters, so like a real small amount, which is just amazing for these printers that they can print that closely. And then it just slides in, and there's a little bit of resistance, not much, and then they stick together. Oh, stuck to the floor. So that one really I put a lot on. So, but there, yeah. So then I can get pieces that are bigger than my print bed. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably not going to do the show me gluing in the pips, because honestly, it's boring, as you've seen. So let's go ahead and get in here. So I love this. I love the A-wings because they're just really kind of cool. So I'm gonna try to get to, I'll get to where, to right up to the engines, like I said. So like I said, like if there's a, I played a lot with the different sizes, and honestly, oops, kind of interesting thing is there's a lot of different specs out there, or a lot of people putting out what they think the Legos dimensions are. So I figured, instead of trying to chase it all down, because I've seen different ones, and I found the one that I found works the best is this one. Um, and I've just used that center, and everything I've scaled up from there down, because it's a full size brick. You know, these bricks are three of those bricks, and so I pretty much just used that and stuck with that. So just basically 8 millimeter squared around a stud, and 9.6 millimeters tall for a full brick, and then just sized it to that. So, and that's what I find, and I figure as long as I stick with that moving forward with all of them, then as long as I'm all on the same scale, it'll all work together. So that's okay. So I get that. So yeah. Now the only risk I'm running is I gotta do this right the first time. All my models gotta be perfect. Once this goes together, there's no going back. But, not the brightest thing, but I'm gonna do it. Some days it's just full speed ahead. This is kind of fun. I ended up doing this one differently. So instead of these parts as one piece, I still did the studs, but I did these as separate, and they dovetail in. I don't know if you can see that. They kind of dovetail in. So then I just used a stud. This one, I think if I could go back, this is the one part I would really redesign. Because I'm depending on friction. I ended up actually using a little bit of tape to give the friction so it'll hold. So, potential failure point. I hope that's not foreshadowing. Oh, I hope that's not foreshadowing. Okay. Oh, yeah, we got that. Alrighty. Get the wings. Oh. Just one. Oh, just one. Oh. Be right back. Now these are kind of fun. So these have the little things inside of them. This one I didn't give a, I mean, you can see the red in there. I didn't really give tolerance there, so I pushed really, really hard. I might have even used other persuasion, just slightly. And other persuasion, I mean, you know, a rubber mallet. But it went in. And it stayed. These ones, same thing. It was so tight in these blocks that I had to really press hard. And then, so I opened this one up. Like, I don't even think I opened it up more than about a 1/2 millimeter. No, like more like a 0.5 millimeter, like everything, like I did on the dovetails. And just slips in and out just like it's supposed to. So that was kind of interesting. So I have a few things in here that are just friction fit. Should have been gray too. Oops. My ship isn't going to be exact replica. These were fun. These are actually, I've already redesigned, but I printed them out just as one piece. And I think I printed out enough that it's going to get me through that I'm not going to have to print anymore. Yep, these probably should have been gray. These should have been gray. So that's the last piece for today. It's tight. Oh, you know what happened? Uh-oh. Maybe I'll get those in gray. That's a fit, not quite right. So, okay, but that takes us up to the engine. So I got to start on the engines now. Don't have those pieces printed out, so I'll get start working on those. But like I said, I can't just print the whole engine, so I got to figure out how to break it up. So this is the start of the Star Wars A-Wing. It's gonna be kind of big, and I'm really excited. So my goal for next time, finally fix that. I want to get the landers in, so get these in so it kind of sits up, and then I'll start working on these, get these printed out so that I can move on to this next step. I might just get this guy first, the next step. So I'll be working on that so we can get our pilot sitting in there and all ready to go. So I love their stickers. Wish they'd sponsor me. Anyway, had to put that in. Okay, so this is the start. Appreciate you coming. See you next time. Um, so